Hey guys, welcome back to the series on getting started with API betting on SX. In our last episode, we focused on placing new orders to the order book, so adding offers here that other users can fill on the order book and canceling them if we didn't want them to be available anymore. In this episode, we're going to be moving on to filling orders or placing market orders to take other people's odds that they have offered. So let's get started. Before we can proceed here, if you've never bet from the wallet that you're trying to use to fill orders here, you're going to need to go enable betting and approve the smart contract. So to do that, all you need to do is fill out the basic verification form and place your first bet. If you want more details or to see it, go back to the last video and check that out. I'm going to add the first part of my prompt here, which explains that I want to build a module to fill orders through the SX API. I've added two other details too, that my private key is in a .env file and that the ethers code library we're on is more recent than the docs example. Next, we're going to need to add a bunch of constants to our prompt. So let's start off with getting some of these from the metadata endpoint. So I'm just going to go make that same curl request again to get the metadata for SXR. And great. So now let's head back to our chat here and fill out some of these things that we need. So one of them is the EIP712 fail hasher. So we're going to need that. Then we're going to need the token transfer proxy and the USDC contract address, which we know we can get from the tokens list. Then let's get our address. And then let's go to the documentation and we will get the chain ID. And we can also get this. Domain name. So for the domain name, we will need to go back to the orders endpoint and filling orders. So we can see that the domain name is SXBet. So the last thing that we need here is just the domain version. And we can actually also just get that from this curl request that we sent to the metadata endpoint. And you can see here it is version 6.0. So we'll just pop that in here. In practice, we'd probably set up the bot to call this filling orders module automatically. Say when the bot notices a plus EV offer, then it hits that or something. But for now, we just want to test that the standalone module is working by filling an offer that I'm going to make from another one of my wallets. So I'm just going to ask that it fetches all of the orders for maker blank on chain version SXR and then lets me select one to fill when I start the bot. And I'll just go get my wallet address here, copy it to my clipboard, and then paste it into the prompt. I'm also just going to tell Claude that I will attach the API docs and to note that they use an outdated ethers library and also include an approval step that we don't need since I already made a bet through the UI to enable betting. So one final thing that we're just going to want to add here is a sample of the signed order data structure. So that's basically telling the AI how it should be formatting all of this data. And so we can just go get a sample of exactly what that structure looks like when we're placing a bet through the UI. So if we head back over here and just click on any market, it doesn't matter. We're not actually going to place the bet. Type in our stake and click place bet. Then you can see here there is a message that comes with all of this with a whole bunch of different fields about the order that we're going to be filling. So we're just going to copy that to our clipboard and then we can cancel the bet. Don't need to actually place it. And we'll come back here and just copy paste this below. So now we're just going to go get all of the documentation for the filling orders endpoint from the API docs and copy paste that to the bottom of our prompt. And I'm also going to go do the same for the get active orders endpoint so that I'm actually able to successfully fetch the order I make on my second wallet and have the option to fill it through this program. Great, so now we've got this application, which hopefully should be able to fill orders for us. So let's go ahead and create a new folder called fill order. And I'm just gonna move that to its own little area. And so then let's create our env file. And then let's also create a file called fill.js where we will paste all of the main code here. And so then go ahead, same as before, add your private key key to the .env file. So replace that with your private key and save that. So once you've got your .env file in here, just make sure that you've got all of the required dependencies installed. You can just run npm install with those here. Okay, so now I'm signed into SX with my second wallet here, and I'm just going to try to create a test order to fill with the bot. So I'm just going to place this limit order on any market at way above market odds so that it doesn't get taken by somebody else, and just for the minimum bet of $10 here for a maker order. Now I'll just switch back over to the wallet that's hooked up to the bot so that we can check if the fill actually goes through by looking at the UI here. Now we're ready to go, so I just need to use the command cd and then fill-order to navigate to the folder that the bot is in, and then I can run it with the command node fill.js. So it seems that I missed installing the Inquire package, and it took me a few tries here to get the command right to install that, so I've just sped ahead here in the video. In case you missed this as well, you just need to run npm install Inquire, and that should fix it for you. Okay, we see our order. So now it's asking for the stake in Ethereum units with 6 decimals, which we'll want to fix. But for now, let's just enter something. So let's do 10, or actually no, let's do the minimum bet of 5. Okay, so it went through here, but let's just go check our unsettled bets on SX here. So it looks like we got 750 down and we entered 5. So I think that that's getting it from the maker's perspective, and we want it to be from the taker's perspective. So let's try to fix that. The script appears to be working. However, I'm assuming that it's from the maker perspective, and that's the problem here. When I input the stake amount that I wanted to fill for, it should be from the perspective of the taker, not the maker. And then so let's just get, I think there's some useful parts of the documentation here. So yeah, so great, let's just copy this from the docs. Now let's take the updated version of the program, which should have the units from the perspective of the taker this time, and just paste it over all of the old code. And then we can run it again with that command node fill.js. So let's select my other wallet's order. Nice, looks like the stake units are fixed now. Okay, it looks like we got a success response back here, but let's check on SXBet to verify. This is the wallet that I offered from, and it was filled for 333 to return 833, so that's a $5 bet from the taker, which means that our filling orders module is now working properly.